Good morning, Arca family. My name is Mr. Hanks. We are going to continue rolling through World War One here in Unit 3, Chapter 2. We are at Lesson 4, The War at Home. Lesson 4, The War at Home. Examine the course and consequence of the war, including both its international and domestic impacts. So today we're going to take a look at two readings. One reading that I'm going to kind of read to the class, and the other one that they're going to take a step back and kind of review. Kind of see the impacts on America and the end of their neutrality in the war. So we're going to see the Americans pick a sides between the Triple Entente and the Central Powers of Europe. So, our bell ringer for the day. Who was the Uncle Sam wants you to join the army poster meant to appeal to? A lot of people don't know this. Uncle Sam is actually based on a real guy. He was a meat packer up north. And he kind of played a little role in something. We're going to talk about that a little bit in the War at Home. And if we look at our menu for the day, we have two rings, the sinking of the Lusitania and the War at Home. I'm going to read the sinking of Lusitania to students. That way they can get to the War at Home, start analyzing the impacts it had on people and the impacts that people had on the war front in the United States. The sinking of the Lusitania wasn't really a surprise. The Germans had taken out ads in American newspapers warning Americans that Europe was at war and German forces were sinking ships that were headed for British waters. That's a good recipe for a disaster right there. One reason Germany was doing this was because the United States was sending supplies to Britain on passenger ships like the Lusitania. Kind of echoing the events from 7th grade in the with the XYZ affair. You know, France was at war with Britain at the time, and we were kind of playing both sides. Well, we were kind of doing it here too. So the Germans didn't want us giving those supplies to the British now, and we were still continuing to take part in that. So, eventually the Germans ended up sinking the Lusitania, and that was kind of one of the final straws for, us joining the war front. So, we joined the war. Everything's good. So now we are at the first reading for the day, the first real reading we're going to analyze, and that's the War at Home. We're going to take our notes right here, and we have three questions right here. How was the draft put into action during World War One? And the draft, basically, whenever a young male turns 18, they're going to go register with the Selective Services. If ever there's a need for soldiers in a time of war, they will be drafted into the Army, whether they want to or not. That's just how it is. How did the Committee of Public Information use propaganda to build support for the war? And like we said, propaganda is just, using pictures, articles to influence people feel a certain way, kind of draw an emotion, and we were kind of angry at Germany because of all this, so that was getting ready to explode. Who was the Uncle Sam once you joined the parliament? Echoing the bell ringer for the day, too, just to kind of relate back to that. So, when it comes to different things, Germany had unrestricted submarine warfare, and it didn't stop attacking ships with submarines. You got to remember they were big on the U-boats and everything like that. They just would give a warning before attacking, and Americans don't really do well with warnings and stuff like that. So President Wilson was outraged, and he demanded an apology in 1915. The Germans were not really, willing to apologize for it. And then we caught them with the Zimmermann Telegram. The Zimmermann Telegram called upon Mexico to form an alliance with Germany and promised to help Mexico regain territories lost in the Mexican-American War if it sided with Germany. The telegram played a significant role in President Wilson's decision to ask Congress to declare war on Germany in 1917, as the war ceased to be a purely European conflict when Germany attempted to involve Mexico against us. So, everything, the Lusitania, the Zimmermann Note, all those things were the two main causes of us ending World War One. We're not going to accept that. We're not going to take that. You're literally sinking our ships, killing American sailors. So, this is what we're going to do. So, when it comes to, different groups of people on the war front, you got Uncle Sam, his real name, as I mentioned earlier, was Samuel Wilson. He was a meat packer from New York who supplied barrels of beef to the United States Army during the War of 1812. And he stamped it with U.S. soldiers playing the name Uncle Sam. So that's what kind of gave birth to our national iconic symbol, Uncle Sam. So we see a lot of people playing roles, even women. So during World War I, women contributed significantly to the war effort, stepping into roles traditionally held by men due to the large number of male soldiers at the front. They worked in factories, manufacturing munitions, all those things. They were starting to take up that role. Women also took over agricultural tasks to ensure steady food production. Many served as nurses, providing, very important medical care on the front lines and the military hospitals. Some joined the military's auxiliary forces, like the Women's Army Auxiliary Corps and the U.S. Navy's Yeoman program, and that was just them handling clerical, administrative work. Additionally, women were instrumental in war-related fundraising and volunteering. Several organizations like the Red Cross were also involved. So, just giving them some props on that. African Americans also contributed a big role in World War I, both on the home front and military service. There were 350,000 African Americans serving in the U.S. Army, with many assigned to labor and different battalions, undertaking essential support roles such as constructing roads, bridges, and other trenches and stuff like that. On the home front, the effort led to the Great Migration. We're going to cover that too, as many African Americans moved from the South to the North to fill jobs vacated by soldiers who went to war. They worked in factories producing munitions and war supplies, and shipyards and other industries crucial to the war effort as well. So that's just some things to kind of keep in mind that I'm going to go over with my class for this particular lesson. I probably will end up going over the... Let's do the second DOK question. I'm going to have my students do formulate a hypothesis about how the sinking of the Lusitania affected public opinion regarding the United States' involvement in World War I. Because up until this point, everybody was just, Wilson was trying to play deal maker, peacekeeper, and now he's like, oh no, you're attacking our ships, we're getting involved. And the people kind of followed suit on that. So overall, use this right here, the I want you for the U.S. Army. Answer this question: what impact of World War I had on the United States and the world? And go back to your objectives when analyzing that, because our objective for the day was examine the course and consequence of war, including both its international and domestic impacts. How is that affecting us? That's our whole foreign policy on the line right there. Okay. And also, knock out this exit ticket. What was the significance of the Zimmerman telegram? You're going to get down the sinking of the Lusitania. All right. Without anything else, we're just rolling through World War I. I'll see you in the next video where we're going to kind of see some pushback against the war. But we'll explain that a little bit later. Thank you very much. I hope if you're not here today, everything's going okay, you're feeling better, and everything's all right. Can't wait for you to come back to class. So... remember, grow strong minds, strong hearts, and live the ARC way. Love yourselves and love each other. Have a good one.